Hey, welcome everybody. This is Sut. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin and what's going to happen in the next few days, where we are. We're going to do a technical analysis on it. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Tell me what you think of this. Tell me what you think about where Bitcoin is going to be in the next few days, next few weeks. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about what's going on. We're going to do a technical analysis of Bitcoin. And I'm using NinjaTrader, so we're using the actual BTCUSD futures. Just to show you kind of exactly what the chart looks like. I'm not going to go into one of the cryptocurrency websites at the moment, one of those exchanges, or we're going to focus on specifically the futures related to Bitcoin on the NinjaTrader platform. And so let's get right in. This is the daily chart right here. As you can see, we don't have a history of many years of this particular future because it just recently started. And because it just recently started, you can't go back 5 years or whatnot, right? It's just been very recent. So there's not a lot of historical data that you can actually analyze and take a look. But we do have, a good amount of data, about a year or so, right? Give or take. And so let's take a look at that daily chart. Okay, so what I do is so that you know, I have the Bollinger Bands on this. I have my proprietary RAM indicator on it, and I have some pivot points. The weekly and monthly customized pivot points are on this chart. I also have the volume below, right around here, and I have the MACD. I like to use these. I sometimes on the intraday charts, I'd like to use the RSI as well. But for the time being, for the analysis, we're not going to use the RSI. We're not going to use anything else. We're going to try to keep it clean and just kind of show you exactly what's happening with Bitcoin, where it's going. As you can see, there was some consolidation period. There was some flat period where it was hovering around 2025. Everybody thought, oh, it's over. Bitcoin is over. This is the end. But then soon after, everybody woke up and then just started climbing, right? So where are we going with this, right? So again, I like to use my RAM indicator. This is a custom proprietary one that I created. And I like to kind of use that as a gauge to see where things are headed, okay? Now, let me actually kind of zoom in so you can see. This dashed dot is what the RAM indicator is. Then you have the Bollinger Bands, right? And then what you could see is when it crossed above the RAM indicator, it continued on its way up. Okay, it always touches the upper band, and then it comes back down, goes up and touches the upper band. For the most part, it tries to reach the mid-band, and then the mid-band kind of holds it in majority of the time. It holds it in and then continues as well. And then holds it in, goes back up, holds it in. And then there was this period right here where it went down. And then it crossed below the RAM indicator, had a brief run at the lower band, and then it kind of made its way back up. So now it crossed over here again at the RAM indicator. It crossed up above that, it crossed above the mid band. And so just so you know it, I can show you a little bit zoomed in version of it. All right, you see how it crossed and then boom, continue its way up, mid band, it brings it down, but it never went below the RAM indicator, as you can see. And then there was this period right here where it did go back down. The lower band held it in, and then there was that green candle. You see, we had this run quite a few days where it went down, and you had this long wick, and then it went back up. Now you have another leg down, and then wick up. Now there's some consolidation, and then boom, you got this big green candle. All right, it's crossed over the RAM indicator, means there's some bullish pattern. So I want you to look at it from this perspective. There's a couple of things here that are in play. It's crossed above the mid band. It's crossed above the RAM indicator. It blew out all of these candles, including this one, right? So it blew all of these out, and boom, it's gone up. The other thing is this volume bar is a lot greater than all of these bar printed, right? So there's some buying power. There's some people that are out there looking at buying. And then what do we see here on the MACD, right? So the MACD, what we noticed was there was a period where it was coming down, right? You had a whole bunch of days, weeks, maybe even whatever month, where you saw a negative MACD, and then all of a sudden we have some consolidation right here, some compression, and what it looks to me like it's gonna do a cross right here. And when that happens, because of this green candle, it's going to try to go back above the zero line. And when that happens, boom, it's going to continue on its way up. Okay, so we're looking at, so we're looking at an upward trend. At least it's going to try to hit the next high, if not the first one, but it's going to try to hit this, right? So when it comes to support and resistance, that's the next line, right? So let me go ahead and add some points. All right, so we got this line right here, we have this one here, and we have this one here, right? So let's say those are kind of pretty major areas. You got pretty consolidated line over here. Now I do see, and if I add this, I'm not sure if it's going to play a huge role, but I do see a couple of lines over here where it kind of plays as a support area. Okay, now because you see this, there's a couple of support areas here, and then you got, maybe even if you add this right here, you got a couple of resistance areas, right? So it's gonna definitely try to make itself reach this target. And let me see if I can add a drawing to kind of highlight that area. So this is the area in the next few days we're going to be targeting. Okay, and that's roughly 72,000. Okay, and it's got to break through that in order for it to continue its way up higher. Now if we were to take a look at, let's take a look at, maybe I can add the Fibonacci's and see where things are. Usually, you know, I would like to see a little bit more data, but because this is fairly new, we can certainly add it. So let me see if I can add the Fibonacci extensions. Okay, sure. So we got the low here, we got the high over here, and then we got the low right over here. So now when I added that, let me zoom in so that you guys could take a look at the fibs, see where the numbers are lining up in terms of, you know, target areas that we're looking for. Okay, now every platform has a different number, or at least very close to a number, right? 38, 62, 61.8. So what's going to happen, right? When we pass this 24, it's going to try to cross above and try to reach this 38. And that 38 basically is saying that we're going to go ahead and hit this all time. And not all time, but at least that previous high, right? And so when that happens, the next leg up, all right, is going to be the 62% right here. And that number is 86,000, all right? So ultimately, in the next few weeks, next month, if this plays out well, these bulls are real, they will drive this up all the way to 86,000. Okay, so there's going to be some period where it's going to go down here and then consolidate, boom, 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 and then maybe right around here, 86,000. So it might not happen immediately, and it might not happen within the next few days, but if the bulls are here to stay, they're going to take it up there. All right, at least that's what I'm predicting here. The analysis, this is my technical analysis here. There's a couple of things that I want you to be aware of. Is you have some sort of lower lows that are being printed here. You got a lower low here, you got a lower low, lower low, and what it's trying to do now here is trying to break that pattern, right? This flag pattern. It's trying to break up. That's what I'm looking at, and because of that, I have a feeling there's more chance of an upside. Obviously, there's a lot of news cycles in play, so that has a lot to do with what's going to drive this, continue to drive it, right? If you have any questions, let me know what you think about this. Price is King. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm with my channel. I really appreciate that. Let me know if you wanted me to take a look at any other specific stock. I'd be happy to take a look at it. PriceIsKing.com. Thank you for watching.